up guys, it's Nick. I'm here today with a video on squeeze pages. We're going to be talking about how to generate leads using squeeze pages on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Nextdoor, and plenty of other social media profiles. We've personally generated thousands of leads using these squeeze pages, so I look forward to showing you guys how. If you have any questions, as always, make sure to drop a comment below. Let me know and I'd be happy to answer them for you. So anyway, let's get started. All right, so let's talk about squeeze pages. So we're here in the lead engine tab. So today we're going to talk about lead generation. So in the lead engine tab, we have squeeze pages in the center. And what you're going to do is you're going to select a domain. And so for those of you who have bought a vanity domain, you could have multiple domains that show up here. And in that case, select the one that you want the link to point to, which will be obviously the one that you bought. But in any case, select the domain, hit start building, and this is going to take us to the 4 different squeeze pages that kvCORE allows us to create on the back-end side, which is the side that we, the agent, can see, but not the consumer. The idea is that we are creating a link that we will give to our customers, our consumers, our clients, and that is what they will use to then log in and see what we want to give them, which in this case would be a multi-property squeeze page, single property, seller squeeze page, and market report. Okay, so multi-property squeeze pages are essentially just like a search alert, which we talked about earlier in the CRM. You type in your area, okay? You put in the listing type, you put in all your criteria, maybe you put an option in here, like just listed, and then you can configure some of the different properties of the page and you generate a link. But as you can see, this side is just like a search alert. Basically, this is just a link that we can use to post on social media, where we can send to our leads, and they can do the searching on their own and then become leads, or maybe they can save a home that they like, something of that nature. The idea again, so you can draw on the map here, you can draw these areas. I always tell people to click, don't drag, just click the different areas, close the box, shades it in, you hit apply section, and then it will search that area. But let's say we want to do Charlotte single family, just listed. You can give a source. So if you know you're going to post this to Facebook, you can type in Facebook, and in the Smart CRM, there is a column on the far right that says source. It will show up as Facebook rather than direct website or organic, something like that. Organic generally means it is coming from social media. Direct is they found you generally through Google or some other search engine. But if you want it to be very specific, you can even type in the source here, right? And this can even be more specific. This could be like, I could say Charlotte ad if I'm running a Charlotte ad, or if I'm running a different kind of ad. Basically, all this does is help me determine where my return is coming from. So if you're running multiple forms of marketing and you want to know where the leads are coming from, put the source as specific as possible. But if you know that you're going to create this link, okay, just listed Charlotte single family, I'm probably going to put this link in a couple of different places. You may not put source, because even if you do, put LinkedIn or Facebook or something in there, and then you post it somewhere else, it'll still say that it came from LinkedIn or Facebook. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, you can hashtag the leads too for a similar effect as source. Here's the one that's very important. Facebook cover photo. Even if you're not posting it to Facebook, you'll want to choose one of these results. I usually go with the top one. What this does is that this will pull a picture if there's one available. If your search comes back and there's no homes, or there's only one home and it doesn't have any pictures, it's not going to pull a cover photo if you use the listings from search results. But I like to use the pictures and have the same pictures of the homes that are going to be in the results. Now, you can choose to use other random listings, even if they're not in the search results. That's totally fine, but choose one of these options so that when you post this link to Facebook or to social media, it'll pull a picture, okay? So that's very important there. Property views allowed before registration. I like that kvCORE. Not every CRM allows you to do this. kvCORE is unique because it gives you a website and the CRM. but not everyone that does both allows you to determine how many views they get before they register. I like that you can have that here. On a multi-property squeeze page, here I would generally leave it at 2 or maybe 3. I would never put it up to like 5 or 10 or never, unless it's a post that you know a lot of agents are going to look at. So for example, if you were going to post something of all the listings that you have listed, and you have many listings, and you just want to get them under contract, you want to get them sold, you're going to send them to a lot of agents, something like that, you could change this to never. But if you're going to post this to get leads, ultimately you need to force register. That's how you get leads through kvCORE, is you have to force register. So because of that, we're going to do 2 property views allowed, okay? And so basically this is a multi-property squeeze page. We've set up our criteria. I could put more things in here. I generally like to leave my squeeze pages, if I'm going to post them to social media, as open-ended as possible, so that way I get the most amount of leads, possibly the most amount of homes shown as possible. But what I like to do to narrow it down is use one of these options. I think just listed is good, new construction is good, waterfront, water view, reduced is good, ranch, master main. Basically, you want to choose something that a lot of people are looking for, right? So a lot of people want to know what was just listed, so I'll go with that. And I filled out my criteria on this side, Facebook cover photo, property views allowed, and then we're going to generate the link. And what you'll see is a direct and a short link. They both go to the same exact place. This one's just abbreviated. And actually, you don't even have to try to copy this and do all these different things. You can just click the button, it will copy it to your clipboard, and now you have a squeeze page link that we can paste and see where it takes us. And there you go, just listed homes in Charlotte is where it brings us, and it shows us all the results of the homes that were just listed. Now what's great, and you'll see this in a later video in the course, is that you can take these links and post them to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to Pinterest, to Nextdoor, to Twitter, wherever you want to put them, and they create a link that goes right to your website where you can capture leads. And that's ultimately what this is all about. This is lead generation. So again, I'm just going to walk you through these 4, and you'll see later on in the course how to implement them to generate those leads. But that is multi-property squeeze page. Again, it's essentially just creating a search that you can now post to any different site. And because we're doing it through your kvCORE, these will become your leads, okay? So that's multi-property squeeze page. We're going to go over to single property squeeze page, all right? So now in single property, you can do the same thing, a source, a hashtag. Generally, if you're going to do one, I might put like the street address, like 123 Main Street as an example, right? So that way you can know, because this is just one home, right? You can know which home they're looking at, that the leads came from. So I usually tell people that a single property squeeze page is basically like an online virtual open house. So because that's the case, if we think about it like that, we don't want to allow them to have 2 views before registration. I generally change single property squeeze pages to 1. You would never host an open house and have someone walk in the front door and then tell them they can sign in the second time they come. You'll lose them and you'll never see them again. You got one shot generally. You're saying, hey, check out my listing, check out this listing, check out this house, check out something special about this property my friend has listed, my colleague has listed, and you'll get leads that way. And you can post them in different areas. And again, we'll get deeper into that as you go on through the course. But this generally is all you need. You need to change this to 1. You maybe want to put a hashtag for the street address. And then you put in the MLS listing ID, so whatever the MLS affiliated number with that listing is in your MLS, and then you generate the link and you do the same idea. So we're just going to copy this to the clipboard, and you can see here I can paste this, and it will take me right to my listing. There's the listing through kvCORE. And so again, this is just very simply a way to generate leads. I feel like this is probably one of the easiest ways to promote your listings. And we'll get deeper into that later on, but these single property squeeze pages, if you ask their permission, fellow EXP agent, for example, and you say, hey, I would love to market your listing for you, just get their permission, and they should have no issue doing that. In most states, I believe that that's allowed. I know in North Carolina, where I'm at, and in South Carolina, you can do that as long as you give some credit in some way during the marketing who it's listed by. But, you almost never get turned down by a listing agent for trying to help them sell their house. That makes sense. So this can be a great way to collaborate with others in your office. Okay, so we're going to go over to Seller Squeeze Page. So here in the Seller Squeeze Page tab, this is the home valuation tool. So as I was showing on the website earlier, there's a free home valuation tool here in kvCORE. Now, I really like this tool because it's very simple. As you notice here, it's not asking for name, number, email, social security, name your firstborn child. Some CRMs and websites I see, agents ask a million questions before they ever provide value. And I think that's a mistake. kvCORE very simply says, just what's your address? We'll give you a CMA. Now, it'll ask, do you want to email it to yourself? Do you want to text it? That's how you would grab their information. But if you get their address, there are ways, obviously, through tax records and whatnot to figure out, someone's information, and you can get it that way. Obviously, you want to make sure you scrub against do not calls and everything. But again, it's very simple, and a lot of people fill these out because it gives a pretty detailed CMA. What I like about these, as opposed to, say, a Zestimate, is that when you have these seller squeeze pages, you're getting a CMA, you're getting comps. The clients, the leads that are clicking on this and filling them out, they're getting some information out of it. It's not just a number, which is what you get in this estimate. Now, we see these estimates, and our clients all the time love these estimates, and it doesn't matter to them if they're really right or wrong. They trust it, right? And so these, again, this is our alternative. This is based on actual comps that kvCORE will run, and there you have it. You actually have value you're providing to your clients. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me, well, Nick, what if they're wrong? What if it's too high or too low? And my answer is always, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Because if you think about it, if the estimate here, and this gives your client an estimate, it says, hey, your home is worth $300,000 and maybe it's only worth $275,000. When you give them a call, they might be really excited because now they might say, well, do you really think it could be worth $300,000? I think I might be willing to sell, ready to sell. And so again, you tell, well, I would need to schedule an appointment with you, and I need to see the home. I need to come see all the improvements that you've done. I need to really see, for myself in person, right? It gets your foot in the door. And if it's too low, it's the same way. If it says it's worth $250 and they say, no, it's worth $275, that's when you do the same thing. You go and you give them a call and you say, look, my system, my website, it's just basing it off of past sales and what's on the market right now. But in order to give you an accurate and professional CMA, I would need to come to your home, schedule an appointment with you, and then you can tell me, you can show me all the improvements you've done, and I can give you a better idea. This is just a general idea of what your home is worth. I can give you a more professional opinion. Again, gets your foot in the door. That's all that matters, okay? Now, what I like about these seller squeeze pages is, for example, if we put in an area here, let's say we put in a neighborhood, because again, you can do this by zip code, by county, by city. We're going to do by neighborhood here. I like to put, if I'm doing a neighborhood, I'll put the hashtag for the neighborhood, okay? You can generate this link, and then what you'll see here is when you go to paste it, and it pulls up the average, it'll populate this, which I think is powerful. The average price in Skybrook is $410,000. What's yours worth? So I like that because being specific in your marketing, as detailed, as granular as you can be, is very, very key, as we all know today in real estate. So again, if we go back to that and we take Skybrook and now it's giving us an average price of $410,000, what's yours worth? If we take that and put that into, say, a Skybrook neighbors group, if we put that into, any sort of marketing out there that's specific to the neighborhood, now we're going to have very specific marketing, and that is going to draw the attention of somebody much more than just a generic post that we see a lot of other realtors posting, okay? So that's how we would utilize these seller squeeze pages. Now we're going to go over to market reports. All right, and it's the same sort of principle, but again, it populates the name of the area that you're targeting, which I really like. I really do like these market reports with zip codes, because here's what's awesome is that if you want to advertise to a certain zip code, and Facebook has changed a lot of the rules recently. A lot of the laws have changed on whether you can target zip codes now, but again, you can target an area and you can click through to an area. What's awesome is that you can narrow it down to a zip code, and now you can send to people, here's the average list price in your area, and you can do it by zip code. And so again, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to log out. See, I've been logged in as myself, so this is showing kind of what the report would look like. What I want to show is what it shows before it generates the report, which I think is more important, which says here, please register to view a market report for 28211, right? So I like that it populates the area that we put in, and so that when you go to post this on social again, it's going to populate, here's the report for 28211, and that's when you can target those different zip codes, and you can use creative forms of marketing to really get very local, ground level, with your clients. That will help you win more leads, more listings than something generic. So that's how you create your squeeze pages. We'll get into in the later stages of the courses how to actually utilize those on social media. If you need any help or have any questions, please feel free to reach out with any other questions on squeeze pages. Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out my channel. If you like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. I put out so much content on social media marketing, CRM training like kvCORE, and how to dominate the competition digitally. So if you're a realtor, an entrepreneur, or a business owner, make sure you smash that subscribe button. You can find me anywhere on social media at Realty Nick Macri. And if you have an idea for a video that you'd like me to do, drop it in the comments below. So now it's time for you guys to take what you saw in this video and put it into action. So go out and crush your goals. I'll see you in the next video.